Although the supposed disadvantage of Pakistan breeds much debate, the Indus Water Treaty is still widely regarded as a successful venture between the neighbors. However, it's of utmost importance that the treaty remains intact, as the issues could generate hostility if India possibly decides to cut off or alter the water flow downstream from Indian Kashmir to Pakistan territory.
Well, I mean, perhaps that suggests then that the threat on both sides is deeply exaggerated, right? Because the one thing that had to be solved, right, for our agrarian social base to not go completely under was water, and they solved it. So on both sides, that shows that if the will exists, you can make something happen. But if, as I'm suggesting to you, if both establishments are in some ways quite content with this enmity remaining as it is, then everything else is perhaps not essential in that sense, as water was. And water was resolved, and everything else has been allowed to fester, and the sores have opened up.
This is the first time that you have the first genuine Indo-Pakistan agreement that has worked. It has worked because it has been internationally guaranteed. It is continuing to work because this is one subject on which Pakistan will go to war. Because for Pakistan, survival, we are a largely irrigated country. We have the largest irrigation system in the world. We cannot depend on rain. We have to depend on irrigation. Cut off our water and you are strangulating us. That will be an occasion for war. But it is in our interest, therefore, to ensure that which is our share, we use wisely. And we use wisely without necessarily letting it go down to waste into the sea.
The sanctity of the Indus Water Treaty continues to be upheld, even though India-Pakistan relationship is one that undulates between highs and lows. The question remains that even though the upholding of the treaty is in mutual benefit of the neighbors, are there any provisions within the treaty that could lead to a conflict in the future?
Unfortunately, this Baglihar Dam, other things, the one good thing about water is that the Indus Water Treaty, signed under World Bank supervision in 1960, has held. Even in the worst period of India-Pakistan tensions, wars, 65, 71, 1999. Except recently, the last crisis, they had threatened that we might even, in 2002, they had threatened that even this treaty would be, no longer valid and we could scuttle it. So, but anyway, it's still held. So I think that's a good sign. But what my experience of India-Pakistan relations and coming to the water issue is that somehow, when it comes to intractable or complex issues, India and Pakistan are not able to resolve these issues face to face, bilaterally. Some kind of outside intervention, diplomatically or otherwise, is called for. Kargil, it was Clinton. 2002, it was the Americans again, this time with greater clout in both Delhi and Islamabad. And 2008, again, it was the Americans. So Indians talk a lot about bilateralism, but they are unable, or they can't force themselves to think big, with an open mind and with a big heart.
Is it trust deficit that India decides to build barrages and control the flow of Pakistani waters against the spirit and letter of Indus Water Treaty? And stoppage of Chenab water last year cost Pakistan close to $5 billion of loss in crop. Is it trust deficit or actual policy of economic strangulation of Pakistan? I think we have to be very clear.
And we replace the waters that are now entirely in India's hands. But the ones that come to us, they are liable to be, I won't say diverted, but to be built upon in such a manner that it may be, even within the treaty, may be adverse for Pakistan. And therefore, right now, as we speak, Jamaat Ali Shah, our water commissioner, is in India, and he's talking to his opposite number. And the idea is to ensure that whatever India is doing to its rivers that come to Pakistan upstream, that it should be within the Indus Water Treaty. Now, I'm not sure that the Indus Water Treaty goes into sufficient detail on issues such like Kishanganga, etc., where they are building dams, etc. For us to say, sorry, this is not allowed, you have to stop building this dam. Otherwise, our water is going to be badly affected. So, really, there is a water problem emerging because water is going to be scarce as time goes by, and that water that is coming down to us may well be used by the upper riparian. I foresee danger, and therefore what I feel should be done now is to build upon, in detail, on the Indus Water Treaty. The Indus Water Treaty doesn't address all the issues, especially those that are coming up now.